welcome to WEBN General News. I'm Phoebe Alves.
And I'm Ella Donoghue. Let's get into today's breaking news.
Former President Trump said that he attended the civil fraud trial against him so that he could watch this witch hunt himself.
It's a terrible, terrible thing. This was for politics. Now, it has been very successful for them because they took me off the campaign trail. Because I've been sitting in a courthouse all day long instead of being in Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, or a lot of other places I could be at.
Trump was not obligated to appear in court on Monday for the trial against him, but he chose to sit in the Manhattan courtroom, CNN reports. Trump attacked George Arthur Enron, calling him a Democrat and an operative. He went on to criticize New York Attorney General Letitia James for going after him instead of violent crime. Judge Engoron ruled last week that Trump was liable for fraud in the Attorney General's case, one of the 7 claims that are part of the lawsuit.
And Massachusetts native Catalin Carrico has been awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine for discoveries that led to the successful development of COVID-19 vaccines.
The Nobel Assembly at Karolinska Institutet has today decided to award the 2023 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine jointly to Catalin Carrico and Drew Weissman for their discoveries concerning nucleoside base modifications that enabled the development of effective mRNA vaccines against COVID-19.
Carrico, raised in Lexington, Massachusetts, was one of 2 scientists to win this award after he and his partner performed their research at the University of Pennsylvania. According to the Secretary of the Nobel Assembly, the 2 were overwhelmed by the news and are invited to receive their awards at the ceremonies held on December 10th in Oslo and Stockholm.
And Democratic Senator Diane Feinstein passed away on Friday at 90 years old. Praised for her gun control advocacy and her ability to reach across the aisle, she was the longest-serving female senator representing California since 1992.
She stepped up, she led with courage, she worked hard for the city, she was a beacon of hope and inspiration during a very dark and tragic time.
Feinstein's office did not share a cause of death, but she had been experiencing rapidly declining health in recent months. President Biden ordered flags to be lowered at the Capitol to honor Feinstein. Democratic Representatives Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, and Barbara Lee are running for the vacant seat. Governor Gavin Newsom appointed Emily's List President LaFonza Butler. She is expected to be sworn into the Senate by Vice President Kamala Harris on Wednesday.
And our political correspondent, Bishop Marshall, tells us some of the takeaways from the second presidential debate. What do you have for us, Bishop?
Thanks, Ella. The former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, continues her winning streak after last week's GOP debate. Haley toed off with leading Trump alternative Ron DeSantis, proving herself to be a top contender for the anti-Trump Republican bid. Major Republican donors also took note. The American Opportunity Alliance invited representatives from both DeSantis and Haley's campaign to Dallas on October 13th, where they will explain to Republican donors why their candidate is the best Trump challenger. And in more political news, the U.S. Supreme Court announced Friday that it would be weighing Republican-backed censorship laws in the next 9-month term. The laws enacted in Florida and Texas seek to regulate what social media companies can and cannot censor on their platforms. Supporters characterize this new regulation as necessary to counteract conservative censorship on supposed left-leaning social media platforms. Critics claim still more work needs to be done to censor hateful rhetoric. And on Saturday night, Congress avoided a government shutdown with only hours to spare. Despite conflicts in the House, as Matt Gaetz and 21 other ultra-conservatives scuttled House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's original proposed spending bill, a revised short-term bill passed with bipartisan support. The new legislation will keep the government funded until November 17th, when there will need to be an agreement on a long-term bill. Still unsatisfied, Matt Gaetz and other ultra-conservatives will look to oust Speaker McCarthy for failing to answer Republican demands in the passed spending bill. That's it in politics. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Bishop. We are going to take a quick break, but stay tuned to hear updates in the MBTA.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.
Welcome back.
Let's jump right into our next stories.
The MBTA commuter rail weekday service between Foxborough and South Station is permanent. This comes after its year-long pilot program exceeded its goals in ridership. The Foxborough service schedule still includes 11 inbound and 10 outbound daily trips, featuring a stop at Bayback Station.
And the MBTA TOPS infrastructure official told board members on Thursday that the Green Line extension fails to meet construction standards.
We waited for 15 minutes and then they told us to just get off, and it was a 30-minute delay, so I just ended up walking home.
The agency is limiting trains to 3 miles an hour because the extension branches to Union Square and Medford Tufts are in bad condition. The T says the tracks were built narrow, but it has reached an unsafe degree. General Manager Philip Ang says the T is investigating the defectiveness of the train almost a year after opening the full project.
And on Friday, leaders of 9 Southern European Union nations made a joint statement after a meeting in Malta calling for the finalization of a new migration and asylum deal. Another shipwreck incident off the coast of Libya resulted in plans to prevent departures from North Africa and for stronger surveillance of Europe's external borders. The 9 nations, including Malta, Croatia, France, Greece, Italy, Cyprus, Spain, and Slovenia, have recognized the need to build partnerships urgently. They hope to break up human trafficking networks in the Mediterranean.
For more international news, we go to our correspondent, Sophia Ticknor. What do you have for us, Sophia?
Thanks, Phoebe. In a recent development in the Ukrainian war, 4 new districts have been added to the Russian conscription deployment map. Each year, Russia sends out a new batch of conscriptions into controlled territory to maintain a strong military presence in all regions. Last September, President Putin officially added the regions of Luhansk, Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia to the lineup of controlled areas. Ukrainian leaders have condemned these territorial claims by the Russian government, affirming that the 4 regions are still members of the Ukraine. And on Friday in Pakistan, suicide bombing struck 2 religious ceremonies, killed at least 56 individuals and injured dozens. This horrifying event happened as worshippers were commemorating Prophet Muhammad's birthday. Another explosion took place several hours later during prayers at a mosque near Peshawar city. 4 people were killed and 11 were injured. The blast caused the mosque's roof to collapse, and it remains uncertain how many people were still inside. And UN insiders say the 8th Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, is likely the front runner for the 2026 UN Secretary-General selection. Mottley would make history as this role has been male-dominated for over 78 years. Mottley speaks on the negative effects of climate change and has numerously implored UN leaders to take action. Although no official announcement has been made, experts have positive predictions on Mottley's campaign. That's all the international news I have. Back to you.
Thanks, Sophia. And a tragedy occurred last week in Florida after a 16-year-old died from being struck by lightning. High school cheerleader Bailey Holbrook from Putnam County, Florida, was hunting with her father on Tuesday when lightning struck a tree. Their pastor held a prayer vigil to help the community process this loss. Her father woke up from the crash to find his daughter unconscious.
And it was, I don't know, I would say horrible.
It was pretty crucial.
It was silent, and everyone just started crying. People were hitting the floor.
Her father woke up from the crash to find his daughter unconscious. She was brought to the hospital and died Thursday morning, surrounded by family.
Former Red Sox pitcher Tim Wakefield passed away from cancer over the weekend. Payton Cavanaugh with more.
He was not only great for the Red Sox, but just the city of Boston as a whole. Like, he's a staple of this community, and we were grateful to have him on our team for sure.
For longtime Red Sox fan Mike Fiola, Tim Wakefield was part of his childhood.
I loved watching him play ever since I was a kid. His knuckleball was like, we all used to try to emulate it in the backyard.
We're here at Fenway Park as fans mourn the loss of former Red Sox pitcher Tim Wakefield. Wakefield died at 57, the team issuing the statement that he, quote, embodied true goodness.
You know, in a time where everybody's looking for somebody to look up to, and you had somebody like that, to lose him so quickly and suddenly and be such a good player, it hurt a lot of people, you know.
Losing Wakefield so suddenly was hard for Red Sox fans like Tom Faust.
You know, it's really sad. You know, I think it's the unexpectedness of it kind of makes it hurt a little worse for a lot of people.
Ernie Perrin of Leominster, Massachusetts, was reminded of Wakefield's legacy, including his 2004 championship win, breaking what was known as the Bambino curse for the team.
When that curse was broken, I mean, that was just phenomenal, and for Tim to be a part of that, he was a big part of that. I don't know, what they're going to do for his family and that, but I know the Red Sox will take care of his family for sure.
It's clear that Wakefield's legacy, both on and off the field, will never be forgotten.
He'll be remembered forever. They'll retire his number for sure. His number will be hung on the wall.
From Fenway Park, for WEBN, I'm Payton Cavanaugh.
Thanks, Payton. We now go to our sports correspondent, Briggs Loveland, to hear about the latest in the NFL. Briggs?
Thanks, Ella. In Week 4, the New England Patriots faced the Dallas Cowboys, the former home of new Patriots running back Ezekiel Elliott. The former three-time Pro Bowler played in Dallas for 7 seasons and led in rushing yards in 2016 and 2018. In his return, the Cowboys played a tribute video for Elliott where he was seen with emotion as the fans cheered him on. But his return would be shadowed by an all-around dominant performance by Dallas, winning with a final score of 38-3. This is Bill Belichick's largest loss in his 29-year head coaching career as the Patriots fall to 1-3. In NBA news, the Milwaukee Bucks traded for Damian Lillard this past Wednesday. He will team up with two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo and All-Star Chris Middleton. The trade was a 3-team swap with the Portland Trail Blazers and Phoenix Suns. In return for Lillard, the Bucks sent point guard Jrue Holiday, who was later dealt to the Boston Celtics. The Phoenix Suns sent their 2018 first overall pick DeAndre Ayton, receiving 3 players from Portland and 1 from Milwaukee. The former first-round pick spent 11 seasons in the Rip City as a 7-time All-Star, winning Rookie of the Year, and a member of the NBA's 75th anniversary team. Lillard took it to Instagram to thank the Blazers front office, coaches, teammates, and the Blazers fans. Lillard signed off his post by saying, quote, "I do believe a day will come where I put a Blazers uniform on again, and hopefully by then, I'll be forgiven for breaking your hearts along with my own." And in the NHL, after a long battle with ALS, the hockey executive Chris Snow passed away Saturday night. At age 42, the Calgary Flames assistant general manager dies 4 years after his diagnosis, 3 years longer than his doctor predicted. His disease has also plagued his family members, including his father, cousin, and 2 of his uncles. The talented sports writer also donated his organs for further research into the disease. The Flames general manager says they will pay tribute to him by, quote, "moving forward with the same passion he brought to life each day." NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman also commented, saying Snow was an inspiration to so many people. That's all the news I have for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back. We're going to go straight to hear about this week's forecast with our weather correspondent, Junru Tao. What's in store for us this week?
Thank you, Ella. This week, we can expect more of a typical early fall weather in Boston, with a mix of sunny and partly cloudy days. Today, the highest we will experience a high of 70, and it will drop to 53 by the evening. Tuesday will warm up, hitting highs of 83 and lows of 61 under bright sunny skies. By Wednesday, the scene changes slightly with partly cloudy conditions and temperature ranging between 76 and 60. Thursday brings another mostly sunny day with a high of 73 and an evening low of 61. As the weekend approaches, Friday offers a mostly cloudy atmosphere with temperature touching highs of 70 and a low of 64. That's all I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
And one of Harry Potter's staple actors passed away last week. Our entertainment correspondent, Lia Klug, tells us more.
Thanks, Phoebe. Actor Michael Gambon, best known for his role as Dumbledore in the Harry Potter films, has passed away at 82 years old, Wednesday, September 27th. He passed peacefully with his wife and son by his side after a bout of pneumonia. Throughout his career, Gambon won multiple Best Actor awards at the British Academy Television Awards, was nominated for 2 Emmys, and was made a Knight Bachelor for his services to drama in the British Empire. It was only a temporary bye-bye-bye for NSYNC. The boy band is back with first single in 20 years. All members of the group, including Justin Timberlake and Lance Bass, will return in the new song. The The song is featured in Timberlake's new film, Trolls Band Together, which premieres November 17th. Timberlake describes the song as a love letter to our fans. And if you're wondering who's listening to the new single, well, it's gonna be me. And iHeartRadio's Jingle Ball Tour is coming to Boston December 10th. The lineup of performers was released this week. Headliners of the show include SZA, Sabrina Carpenter, and Flo Rida. Tickets for the general public will go on sale this Friday. A network special featuring footage from all Jingle Ball Tour stops will air on December 21st on ABC. The special will be available on demand and on Hulu the following day. That's all the news I have for entertainment. Back to you at the desk.
Now shifting gears to a story in Pennsylvania. A 69-year-old man chooses an unusual animal for emotional support. Joseph Henney's pet, Wally, is 7 years old, 5.5 feet long, and sleeps with his owner every night. The unusual part, he's an alligator. Henney has been relocating unwanted reptiles for over 30 years, but ultimately decided to keep Wally in 2015 when he realized this was a super nice, friendly alligator. Their bond formed when several of Henney's relatives died in 2017, and Wally was to the rescue with frequent hugs and kisses. After registering Wally as an emotional support animal, the two have gone everywhere together, including grocery stores, farmers markets, and casual walks in the park.
That's all the news we have today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Phoebe Alves.
And I'm Ella Donoghue. For more, go to WEBN.tv and WEBN General News on Instagram. Have a great night.